Hi Aquarius, I hope you guys are doing great today. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Jackie. We're going to be doing general messages for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the last 2 weeks of December 2019. Can you believe it? Before we get into anything, guys, I am putting timestamps down below, as I am going to start with the astrology. So I'm going to give a little bit of an astrological forecast for what's happening right now with the solar eclipse happening, a couple of other things going on for about the first 10 minutes. So if you're not interested in that, just fast forward to the tarot portion. Additionally, at the end, I'm going to be pulling 2 love readings, one for Aquarius who are in Aquarians who are in a committed relationship, and Aquarians who are in a complicated kind of situation, maybe no contact or something like that. So I'm going to put the timestamps for those as well down below. So let's get right into this. You know, what's happening in the sky? The first thing, I'm not going to mention everything, okay? But 2 main things that I think are very, very important for all of us to just be very mindful of. We have the sun entering Capricorn. So we're all going to be feeling this strong Capricorn energy right now. And Capricorn wants tangible results. Aquarius, you know, Capricorn out of all the archetypes is the hardest working archetype. They want tangible results. They know what's feasible and what's not, and is most comfortable working within an established framework and knows boundaries and knows limits. And, you know, working towards a long-term goal is most satisfying within this influence, which is a very positive energy for all of us to be working within. And we're all going to be feeling this right now. Now, in conjunction to that, on the 26th, 25th, it's 26th, but depending on where in the world you live, right? It might be the 25th. But we have this new moon solar eclipse happening in Capricorn on the 26th. So this is more of this narrative of the Cancer Capricorn. Those of you who've been following any type of astrology or even tarot, we've been talking about this since July of 2018. It's happening until July of 2020, and then we go into the Sagittarius and Gemini eclipse cycle. But right now we're still in the Cancer Capricorn eclipse. So this one is happening on Thursday the 26th, okay, 4 degrees and 7 minutes of Capricorn. And its effects are going to be felt for at least 6 months after the actual date of the eclipse. Now, in Saturn-ruled Capricorn, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, we're going to be really needing to look at anything surrounding our public life, our career, our reputation, how people think of us, our achievements, and just how our accountability, but how do we perform in that area? How accountable are we for our own actions and the things that we do? These are all going to be a very strong focus for absolutely everyone. Now, for you guys, Aquarius, you're going to be having this primarily hit your 12th house. And that's a very big house. So I'm not going to get into absolutely everything that's covered in the 12th house, but you can expect there to be changes, progress, and transformation in your inner self, right? Because the 12th house is about, they call it the house of self-undoing, and I feel like that's a very negative way of referring to it, but it's really a space of inner transformation and letting go of memories that no longer serve you in an effort to level yourself up. You know, it's really looking at your faith system. How do you practice faith? Do you not? Do you maybe need to incorporate it in? And what does that look like? And maybe you want to, progress forward and transform how you conduct your spiritual practices. Maybe you want to incorporate more into your life, or you want to change paths altogether. This is you looking at how you deal with your escapist tendencies. You know, do you end up turning to alcohol or drugs or shopping or spending money or food or anything like that, or just losing yourself in video games or losing yourself in something, and you're going to be pushed, comfortably so though, to revisit these things. Also, your connection and relationship to institutions. So for those of you who are maybe working for big companies, or those of you who are in college, right? This definitely applies to anything having to do with college. Something happening within the college sector. You know, right now maybe you are just a student, and then you're going to start working for the college. Or you're going to change majors, you know, just whatever you're doing within that institution can certainly change. It has to do with hospitals and libraries. And so it's a big It's a big house, but what I want you guys to focus on really is this idea of inner transformation. You're just going to feel this fundamental shift in everything that you've known to be true up to this point. And it's going to affect, I feel very strongly, Aquarius, more than one area of your life, okay? But this eclipse is about new beginnings regarding all of these things. Okay, so for everyone, it's going to have to do with career, achievements, accountability, but specifically for you, everything that I just indicated for that 12th house. And this is a time for setting practical goals, practical, attainable goals. Capricorn is very practical. So working on developing maturity and common sense in areas that maybe you could benefit from some improvement. And we're all going through that, all of us, okay, all of us. So considering the future, preparing for it, focusing on really concrete ways of developing self-discipline and self-mastery, finding ways to give satisfying form to wishes, making commitments and recognizing responsibilities, and just accepting our limitations, and that ironically some of our limitations truly free us to explore deeper dimensions of experiences by offering us a more secure foundation so that we can actually really nurture and cultivate what it is that we're looking for and not be all over the place. It does help us to be more focused, and that's the beauty of Capricorn, you know? So you also want to see where else you have Capricorn in your chart, because you might have some house placements there. You might have in your rising or your Venus, your moon, your Mars, you know, and look and see, especially if you have it within the first decan and a half. So that would be 1 to 15 degrees, the first 1 to 15 degrees. You're going to be feeling it even stronger in those placements. But this is entirely good because Capricorn teaches us that recognizing our limitations actually frees us to focus on what really matters and where we are and who we are and where we want to go. This is a very, very potent energy. It really is. With this Capricorn energy, with the solar eclipse, it's a partial solar, by the way. So what that means in a nutshell is just that a lot of times you hear about this total eclipse, it ends up being like the decks are swiped clean, right? And something brand new comes in. This is a partial, so it's going to be less about brand new things coming in and you looking at what's there right now and you actively transforming what's there right now. Okay, but this is really going to benefit us well beyond this moon cycle. It really is. We have the opportunity to make these important changes, so it's important to go with the energy. And for some of us, circumstances are such that we really need to really pay more attention to all these areas that I indicated. It's really important right now to identify flaws in your life because they are going to be revealed around this time. So you want to be open to seeing them because you're going to be prompted right now to redo something or to start something fresh. You know, something's going to end in order for something else to start new. So a lot of us are going to be called to give things up in order to move forward into this new chapter of life. You know, and that could seem scary. The new may be unrecognizable, but it's very important to kind of surrender into it because it's all really good. Because this eclipse point is aligned with Jupiter, and that forms a beautiful trine with Uranus. So there's going to be a real sense of excitement about this. You guys are going to feel excited. This is about progress. This is all about progress and growth, improvements in these areas, relief. Release along with this new beginning. You'll be letting go of something, but something that you're going to feel like, oh, thank God, you know, kind of thing. Really. So, you know, definitely check out where else you have Capricorn in your chart. And just know that over the course of the next 3 to 6 months, these changes are happening. They are happening to all of us, but especially for you guys, your 12th house, and wherever else Capricorn might be in your chart. You know, but I want you guys to think back to 4 different periods of time I'm gonna mention, because these are the past 4 times that this eclipse axis happened, just to give you a flavor for the type of change and transition that we're talking about. If you're old enough, I'm not going to bother with the months because you're not going to remember the months. But if you're old enough, I want you to think back to 1981 to 1983, those 2 years, and then think back to 1990 to 1992. Think what was going on during these 2-year periods. What kind of changes were going on? Something was taken away, something was brought in, right? And then we have July 2000 began to June 2002. So 2000 to 2002. And then we have 2009 to 2011. 2009 to 2011. So we have changes that have gone on during those times, right? Where, you know, if you look back and you're really like open and honest with yourself, if you can remember, there was something that was taken away and then something brought in, right? So we're at the point in this eclipse cycle, though, where it's time to get the gifts. So this is a really good part that we're in. This is really, really good. Okay, so you guys are going to be feeling a lot of changes. So let's see how this is going to play out. A lot of you, I feel like you have felt the tinglings of the change already. It's like you're on the precipice. I could feel it in your energy. But you can't really quite put your finger on it, is the feeling that I'm getting here. So let's see what we have. So, I mean, this is going to be a reading for the last 2 weeks of December, but obviously I feel like it's going to kind of fall over into the first part of 2020. So let's see what we get as your crowning energy, Aquarius. Let's see what we have to crown this time period for you. Every journey starts with a single step. Nice. Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, this is transformation. It's, you're on a journey. It's an internal journey, but there's also a physical expression of this journey that's going to become increasingly important to the fulfillment of your destiny, you know, in this lifetime. Yeah, it's like this journey has started on the inside, but its destination, it's going to be played out in the physical. There's a lot of healing here. There really is. I mean, I like it, and I feel like you're recognizing that you've learned and you've mastered a lot of things over the course of your life, so much so that you feel like your life experiences have prepared you for this thing, these changes that you feel coming. You feel the changes coming in, and you're recognizing that your life experiences have had a lot to do with what's rolling out right now, for sure. This is kind of like a very butterfly kind of feeling, right? At least the butterfly leaves the chrysalis behind when it's time to spread its newly formed wings, right? So you're ready to leave behind what once was, and really embrace what's more appropriate for you at this time. I really like this. And you're not supposed to know all the details or how it's going to work. You're just meant to take one step at a time, you know, one after the other, again and again, so that you can get these gifts that are right ahead of you. I feel like some of you don't even realize that this change is fully happening. You're feeling it sort of in this like indelible, you know, kind of feeling where it's a vagueness sort of like in your belly, but you feel it, but you're just not sure what it all means, you know. But the small steps that you're taking in your life right now are actually more powerful and constructive than you realize. So, you know, sometimes we're gaining ground by without even realizing. It's not immediately obvious. So this doesn't mean that nothing is happening. It just simply means that the effects of your actions are cumulative, right? And the overflow into the physical world is definitely going to happen. So you just have to keep going. And don't allow yourself to be frustrated, you know, by the idea that you're not seeing exactly what you want to be seeing right now in whatever area of your life that you're most focused on right now. Okay, because not seeing the results translate into the physical world right now doesn't mean it's not happening. It is happening. It's coming. It is coming. So I do like that. That's an awesome card to get for the fact that you guys have this this eclipse happening in your 12th house. Yeah. All right, so let's pull some general energies. When I say general energies, that means that I'm going to pull and I'm going to give interpretations for relationships, for career, for possible family situations, okay? Because not everybody's in a relationship, not everybody has family issues, not everybody has a career, all right? And we're dealing with lots of people. So we try to, let's move these out of the way so I have more space, okay? And then again at the end, I will be pulling those two relationship reads. Okay. Aquarius, last 2 weeks. 5 of Wands reversed. Okay. Oh, I like that. Temperance is a beautiful crossing. Okay. Nine of Pentacles is where you're at right now. Six of Swords, that's not surprising to me. Six of Swords is about, leaving a situation that you're identifying as not being healthy. And this is, I feel like this feeds into the transformation. Okay, so we have the Five of Wands energy here as the situation right now, and it's in the reverse. Wands are well, so this shows me, and it's movement forward, so this shows me that right now there's some sort of delay in one part of your life, and there's also a lack of motivation in a certain part of your life. But this is creating conflict, because the fives are conflict. So I get that you're in conflict with someone, and there's just a lack of motivation and this lack of moving forward with somebody in a situation. Now, this could certainly be in an intimate relationship where things are at a little bit of a at a standstill, or you guys might not even be in contact right now. Okay, because again, it's willingness to move forward, it's movement, and there is no movement here, and there is no willingness. There was a lot of fighting. And the Five of Wands conflict is the type where it's like trying to fight blindfolded with each other, trying to stab each other in the dark. There's just not going to be a meeting of the minds. It's a very passionate energy, and there's just not a meeting of the minds happening. It's just not a meeting of the minds. So this could have to do with an intimate relationship. This could certainly have to do with a frustrating situation at work where there's just this conflict and this lack of movement going forward. You feel like you're very stagnant in work. If this has to do with career, there's this lack of mobility within that sector, within whatever you're doing for career, and you're feeling very passionate about it. You're feeling very edgy and very restless because you really just want to move forward. This could certainly also have to do with a family member or a friend where you're just so frustrated over how someone in your life is acting. And you guys are just not having a meeting of the minds. There's been a lot of conflict. You guys don't see things the same way. And it ends up in these fiery, passionate kind of fallouts, But then we have the Temperance card, which is crossing the situation. And Temperance is a beautiful energy because this is an alchemical process. Understanding what each party needs that's involved. What do you need? What do they need? What does the situation need? So there's a clearing up here, and it's more of, I'm going to say it's less of a forgiving energy, although forgiveness has to be here somewhere. It's more of a compromise energy, Temperance. It's a blending together of what everybody needs. So I do feel that is what's happening here, which is great because, without compromise, what do we have, right? It's very hard to maintain any kind of connection. So if this had to do with work, it does tell me that there was some sort of resolution in that there was at least a conversation, but I do get very strong Aquarius that it did not do the full trick for you. It just did not do the full trick. If this has to do with a family member or a friend, it's like the conversation is happening and an agreement is being made, but you're still not feeling totally comfortable with the outcome of it. There's this very distinct discomfort with somebody in your life, for sure. And if this has to do with an intimate partner, same thing. It's like you guys had the conversation, but something's not sitting with you because crowning, we have the Four of Cups energy reverse. And those of you who've been watching me, you know my spiel about the Four of Cups. I think this is one of the most powerful minor arcana just because of how deep it is. It's a very textured energy. I do call it my checklist card. It's sitting there recognizing that somebody is not, you are not happy with the way someone is conducting themselves, either within their life or within your relationship first and foremost, right? Because it's a cup energy, so it has to do with something in your heart space. So this could be an intimate partner, this could be a family member, a friend, or even somebody that you need to work closely with at work. But it's the checklist card where you understand there needs to be some sort of separation, even if it's like just mental, because you're feeling very restless regarding them. And this restlessness is causing you to go into the space where if they don't start doing A, B, and C, or if they don't stop doing A, B, and C, I cannot be in this relationship with them. But underneath that is always something else. It's always something else. So for example, let's say your boss is consistently pointing out your flaws and consistently overloading you. And the workload is just, it doesn't make sense to the structure of your day, right? Let's just say this, okay? Mundane example, I know. And you know, you're saying to yourself, like, if this guy doesn't stop doing this, or if this woman doesn't stop doing this, I'm just not going to stay here. This is illogical. I'm so unhappy here. Then now look under that. It's less of what they're doing, and it's more about how it makes you feel. You're feeling undervalued, and you're feeling taken advantage of. And that's the scar underneath your checklist that you need to really identify. If this is to do with a relationship, I can't deal with the fact that they're not, showing up at the table more. They're not communicating enough. They're not bringing the resources that they're supposed to be bringing. They're not, whatever. They're not showing up in some way, intimacy, whatever, right? And I'm just not dealing with that anymore. Well, it's not really so much about that. It's about the scar that's forming underneath that, and that you're not feeling heard, and you're not feeling valued. You're not feeling like you matter, okay? So it's the surface is what you're saying to yourself, but you really need to look at that scar underneath. Okay, and the fact that it's reversed does indicate that it's an extreme sense of this this restlessness, this real, like, not wanting to stay within the situation, right? But it's Aquarius. It is also like you need to get in touch with, how it's making you feel. And then we have the Fool energy as the foundation, which is I love this, because the Fool to me is all the tarot cards all in one. I mean, the Fool is one of my favorite cards, It's about calculated risk and the guts to take the calculated risk, the willingness to do it. And there's a very positive energy here. It's like taking the calculated risk that ends up bringing you onto a really positive path if you stay open to the energies and just really grounded, right? The Fool is actually very grounded energy. People think, oh, he's going off the cliff. He doesn't even know, what he's doing. No, he knows exactly what he's doing. He really, really does. The Fool's a lot more wise than we think. So this is a foundation energy. So I really like that. You're very smart, Aquarius. You really are. And you're very in touch with the fact that something in your life, somebody is not treating you quite right. Right? And you are willing, you have this element within you right now where there's this willingness to kind of go down a healthier path, I'm feeling like. In your past, we have the Queen of Wands reversed, very fiery energy, no movement here, lack of motivation, and somebody very controlling. This is a controlling person, wants things their way, very ego-driven, but it ended up in this situation where there ended up being no forward movement. There ended up being no forward movement. And the passion for the gumption and the passion to want to be involved in this really did end up dying. Now, in your future energy, we have the Ace of Swords reverse. So this indicates that there is not going to be a new cycle or continuation in this cycle with this person who's in your energy right now. Because swords are truth, and in the reverse, it indicates that there's some sort of dishonesty going on here that's going to get in the way of this cycle happening. Now, the dishonesty could certainly be you not being fully honest with yourself. The dishonesty can be something that you're having to deal with them, where you feel like they're just not being on the up and up with you, and it's not motivating you to want to move forward with them in this new cycle. So for those of you in a relationship, Aquarius, this could certainly be the recognition that there's not going to be a new beginning with this person within a cycle. Like you guys are having a hard time right now and a new cycle is necessary, but I'm not getting that it's going to happen because you're feeling very disrespected and undervalued and not heard. If this has to do with a job, you might stay at the job, but with the intention of leaving, because you know that staying in this cycle, in this place, is going to lead to a lot of nothing much than what you're dealing with right now. And if this has to do with a family member, this is evolving into a space where you may find yourself in a position where you need to love them from a distance, because they're just very toxic right now, and it's just not healthy for you to stay in. And if it has to do with a friendship may be ending, okay? But let's get a look at you now, right now. Aquarius, you are totally focused on not only pulling your pentacles together, but all that means. This is about you focusing on your career. This is about you focusing on what connection means to you. Really formulating the definition within your own mind of what you need in the way of communication, connection, because Pentacles is about connection, how we connect in all relationships. So it's communication, it's intimacy, okay, if this is to do with an intimate partner, how we just mentally, emotionally, and physically connect to other people. And you're looking at all of this. And I love this, again, because we have this eclipse hitting your 12th house. I mean, this is beautiful, because this is you taking stock of what you need and really getting in touch with and being very serious about you being happy on your path. And where are the thorns in your life? You're being pushed to really identify the thorns in your life. Now, the energy external to you is the Seven of Swords. Now, this is not you. This is external to you, and it's reverse. So the Seven of Swords is a very interesting energy. The Seven of Swords, first of all, is the card of thievery. And because it has to do with swords, swords are words and thoughts and how we communicate. So if you put those two things together, what we have is somebody who you're dealing with, someone who deflects a lot, who gaslights, who is trying to, just a very challenging personality to communicate with. But this is the thing. In the reverse, it indicates that you're realizing the issue really is primarily them. And this is not you, Aquarius, not wanting to take responsibility. It's in reality where the issues are primarily coming from this person or situation that you're dealing with. The conflict that's being dealt with is on their side of the fence. Doesn't mean that you're not somehow part of this dynamic as well. After all, even if we're allowing ourselves to be on the receiving end of conflict, we're also partially responsible for the conflict, right? Because you can't have conflict unless you have two sides of something. You follow? But it's not coming from you. It's coming from them. And this is something that you're really needing to deal with, with this, either this intimate partner where it's something definitely that's going on in their life and it's creating these issues in the relationship that you actually just don't have the power to make changes in. You can only control yourself. And if it has to do with a family member, this is them. It's like some sort of issue that they're going through that's becoming your problem and you're really not appreciating it. Same thing with work. Now, your fear is the Knight of Swords. Okay? So you are afraid. First of all, the Knight of Swords comes in and just starts slicing up the truth. It's all about the truth. And I feel like a lot of you are very afraid of this because if the truth is laid out, this will mean the ending of something. And I feel like you're afraid of being very honest with yourself, Aquarius, about this person or this situation, because if you are dead honest, you know that there's really only one real answer, and that is to end the situation as it is. And that's scary to you because you have love for this person, you have desire for this situation, and you don't want it to be over, but you also realize it can't continue as it is, and you're recognizing that you can't control them and their behavior, even though you wish you could. If only they would just do this, or if only they would just do that, if only. Four of Cups energy, going back to that, right? But we don't have the power to do that. You know what's interesting about that too? We all know that. How many of us have been hearing that for years? You can only control your own actions. You can't control anyone else. But yet when we're in a situation, isn't it what we all do? If only they could just see what they're doing. If only they could just see it doesn't have to be this hard. If only they could see how they're being so rude and so disrespectful, fill in the blank to whatever it is. But you're very afraid of really getting hardcore honest with yourself about the reality of this person, because then it's going to require you looking at yourself. Why did I allow this to continue in my life? And, and especially I get this a lot with people like within families, like if my family members are like this, am I kind of like that too? I don't know, creates this very interesting, deep dynamic. But I do get that you are just, you know, walking away. I mean, we have, this is the outcome, and then in the future we have the Ace of Swords reversed. I already discussed that, where a new beginning is not going to be happening here. And the Six of Swords energy is recognizing that it's with a heavy heart. With a heavy heart. You're leaving a situation that you know to be very toxic. Like, fundamentally, it's, if you keep this situation in your life, it's only going to damage you. There's no winning here. There's no winning within this situation. And when I say winning, I mean compromise. Because, right, finding compromise in a challenging situation is the only win. Not you getting your way, not them getting their way, but a compromise, right, to be made. And there is not one of any real value. There is no real compromise outside of lip service, I'm feeling, because I feel like the conversations are going to be happening with this Temperance energy. I do feel like. But I feel like it is going to end up being more of a lip service situation than anything else, without very much follow through. Okay. Aquarius, I do feel like you are dealing with somebody who actually cannot get out of their own way. You know, this is a very deep-rooted issue with them that they need to work out on their own, and that you really don't have the power to climb inside their skin and you know, make the changes for them, you know. All right, so that is what we have for that. You know, but listen, you know, going back to the eclipse and going back to the 12th house energy, transformations, you know, and this is part of it. It's not comfortable. It's not comfortable, but, you know, it's important and it's powerful. So let's go now to Aquarius. and again, that could be for any area of your life. So you guys, many of you could be in a beautiful, healthy, committed relationship, and that could be a situation at work or with a family member or a friend, right? You know, flip it around however you see fit. Okay, so I'm going to cut these, and we're going to do Aquarius in a committed relationship first, okay? Committed relationship first, and I'm going to pull the Love Oracle first to start, and then we'll pull some Island Wellness. Trust. Transformation occurs through acceptance. Once you accept the current situation, it will automatically transform. See what that means. It's a nice card. It's a beautiful sentiment. Transformation occurs through acceptance. So I'm getting that something is happening for those Aquarians who are in a committed relationship that you might be having a really hard time accepting. So you're going to apply this however you see fit to the general messages that we just had, okay? All right. Messages for Aquarius, please. Wedding rings. Heart with the key. Cupid's arrow. Lovely. I love that. So, you know, when I pull a card, you know, that seems really positive, I'm just like, I know whatever spirit wants to come out, I will read whatever comes out, but I'm always rooting like, please let it match, you know. Heart with a key. Welcoming love. Opening your heart. Getting together. Perfect. Wedding rings, union, married, okay? Many of you may be married, maybe getting married, getting engaged, soul connection, eternal love, everlasting promise, beautiful. Cupid's arrow, have faith, have faith. Surprise invitation or meeting. I feel like Aquarius, those of you who are committed, are very much going to be finding each other again. Trying to figure out which ones I want to use. Do I want to use the Rider-Waite? Isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm being called. I was going to use the Tarot Day on the Week, but I'm being called to use this. Oh, gotta go. Gotta go with what I'm pulled to. Yeah, so I feel like you guys were had a little bit of a rough period having something to do with one area of your relationship, and you're being pushed to really trust that everything is going to end up turning out okay. Yeah, transformation occurs through acceptance. It really does, because what's the opposite of acceptance is not accepting something, which means that you're putting up some sort of energetic block to something, and then it's impossible to manifest anything in that position. So it's better to figure out what the issue is with why you can't accept something, and then figure out how you guys could deal with that, you know, in your relationship. Yeah. So right now, I just want a little bit of backstory here. That's why I pulled the tarot. Yeah. So I feel like you guys were like waiting for news to come in and it wasn't coming in. You were waiting for movement forward in something and it wasn't moving forward. And it was just this stagnation. You guys were feeling this incredible stagnation. You know, just incredible stagnation. Oh, I got two. I only wanted one. We could bring two. Okay. Yeah, so this message was not coming in and it was creating this stagnation, and you guys very much wanted this new start. Having to do with the Pentacle energy, it could mean something to do with a new job, a new career, a new opportunity that one of you was waiting for. And, you know, you had a lot of faith in it with the Hierophant energy and you really wanted to believe in it. And you guys were on this path, right? So you guys were really wanting to be on this path. But there was this stagnation that just kept happening. But then I feel like as you guys were trying to stay diligent on this path, one of you kind of fell off the path. Chariot reverse, kind of like that car on the country road going along, everything's going great, and then loses control of the wheel and ends up going off into the woods, ends up turned upside down in the ditch at the bottom, okay? Making poor choices. Not being as committed or as diligent to a situation as they should be. And this ended up creating a great deal of stress. And your Nine of Swords energy is about anxiety, that 3 a.m. kind of anxiety and that 3 a.m. kind of stress. But in the reverse, it does tell me that the worst of it has been felt, okay, that you are really kind of coming out of it. Something had to end, though. I mean, there was a definitive ending here. So let's just pull. So Tower energy is about something falling apart that you at one time believed in. So it doesn't have to be, obviously, the relationship. I'm not getting that, but I'm getting that some sort of job, some sort of idea, some sort of dream that you guys had, the realization had to be made where, you know what, it's not happening. You know, we had all of this hope and all of this expectation in this one idea, this one plan, this one thing, this one event happening in our life and going to this point, and it's just not happening. And you guys are feeling very, very emotional about it. It created a lot of stress within your relationship. You guys really wanted to have faith, but something happened along the line, though, Aquarius, where I do feel like one of you or both of you, it's a major arcana, didn't stay as committed to the path as you should. In other words, as you guys should have. Again, this could just be a partner, it could just be you, but the Chariot is about you going along on the right path and then something happened. So, you know, if it was your partner working very diligently towards a particular outcome in their career, all of a sudden they stopped showing up the way they should. Or maybe they just stopped being as responsible or as committed, or something happened in that way, if it has to do with a career. Or maybe this could just have to do with they just kind of stopped caring about the relationship in the way they should, and they ended up becoming incredibly self-absorbed, and it ended up pulling them away from the relationship where they became all about them and hyper-focused on what they wanted to bring and create for themselves, and it became more about them than about you as a couple. So that created the anxiety, but that had to stop. That had to stop because that was creating a very unhealthy cycle here, and it created a lot of confusion. And it created a lot of confusion to the point where one of you or both of you started to become very closed off to the situation, because Cups reverse is closing off your heart. And it's closing off your heart because you feel like you're confused. You're not sure what you know what's in Five of the Cups. You don't know what's in Two of the Cups. And the thing in the Two of the Cups that you think is there is not really very positive. So this is a very confusing energy here. But then we have the Lovers, okay, which I really, really like. This is a very beautiful energy because it's about compromise and understanding. It's a very realistic energy. Realistic. It's like, I love you, you love me, but we have stuff. We got issues, and we have to figure them out. And how are we going to do this? And we're going to do it together, and we're going to take our time, and we're going to compromise, and we're going to communicate, and we're going to have the blessing of Archangel Raphael and the luminary of the sun, and we're going to figure out our stuff. We need to go back to square one here. What do we need in this relationship as far as communication, connection, resources? What's it all going to look like moving forward? We have to have that conversation. And everybody's got to be on board, and everybody's going to be on board because it's in the upright, so I love that. Three of Pentacles energy is about feeling, though, that you're not able to build right now with each other within this connection. Right now, you just feel like this level of inability. You guys feel like you don't have what you need to get to that next level, but at the same time, you definitely love this person. This is the card of engagement and marriage. You want this foundation with this person. You want this foundation, but you're not sure how it's going to happen. And that's why we get the trust card. Because transformation occurs through acceptance. And once you accept the current situation, it's automatically everything's going to work out. Everything's going to work out fine. And my throat chakra's closing. You guys have to talk. You guys have to talk. Yeah, okay. That's what I have for Aquarius. Aquarius committed. Yeah, I like it. Beautiful crowning energies. You guys, you have to make sure you have that communication. Have that communication. Okay, so now let's go to Aquarius. Aquarians who are in a complicated situation. So, you know, the complicated situation is maybe no contact. You know, you kind of in this on again, off again energy. Just not in a solid, committed kind of situation. You know what I mean. Okay. This heart shape is very interesting to shuffle. Ends up in one big circle. Close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. That's true, right? That is true. It's about being grateful too, you know? Being grateful for the good that is present. So hard to tap into that though when we're feeling pain. So hard to do that sometimes, Aquarius, right? Okay. Acts, breakup, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment, abandonment. Healthy choices, making healthy choices in love and in life, self-love, self-care, being happier, talking, interested, conversing more, awaited messages arrive, text, call, email, hovering. Hovering. So somebody's in your energy field still for sure, and they are wanting to reach out to you. So I feel like, you know, I'm getting here, I mean, just the obvious message is that you guys are in no contact. You're in a separation, pattern of separation, some sort of abandonment, but, you know, you're really at a point where you want to stop this pattern, and it's really about you putting yourself first and having some self-love and self-care. But somebody's going to be reaching out to you. Let's get some backstory. Let's figure it out. Aquarius, complicated. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, not having the support that you need. Okay. All right, so you were in a space of not getting the support that you needed, right? The Six of Pentacles is just about just like not getting what you need. I mean, this could be, let's say you guys were in a relationship and on the most mundane level, they weren't working. They weren't bringing anything to the table. Now, Pentacles also means emotional, physical, and mental connection, as I mentioned before. So this could be you just feeling this lack within the relationship. So we have the King of Wands. So there was a lot of passion here. I mean, you felt a lot of passion for this person. There was a lot of passion between the two of you. It's the King of Wands. You know, really lots of passion. But then what ended up coming into play is what was fair and what wasn't. The Justice energy is really about what's right, what's not right. And then to have the Three of Cups next to it is irresponsible partying, is irresponsible flirtation, is really not honoring the relationship. This could be, hanging out with friends, putting their family before you. You know, it could be anything like that, but just this thing that got in the way of you feeling this very celebratory, loving vibe with your partner. Because the Three of Cups upright is about celebrating with friends and family your love, celebrating your love and celebrating this connection and feeling this very kind of, you know, from within, this idea of celebrating. And it's not happening because it's like they're celebrating with somebody else. It's like you're not there, and you're like, that's really not fair. What happened here? There was a lack of respect, for sure. Okay, and here goes, and then here we have the cycle. So definitely a cyclical kind of thing, because they feel like this happened. Then we have the Star, there was forgiveness. Then we have the Eight of Cups, which is somebody leaving, knowing that they're not, feeling very disillusioned, very, very sad, but leaving the situation that they know there's an acceptance here that this is just not going to work. It's just not going to work. And the Queen of Cups reverse is all about not opening your heart. There's like a shutdown. This goes into shutdown mode. Queen of Cups reverse goes into shutdown mode. Leaving, shutdown mode. No communication here. You might have ghosted them. They might have ghosted you. You might have walked away. They might have walked away. And then we have the Hangman energy. The Hangman energy is literally pressing the pause button and just like, I got to think about this. I really got to think about everything that's gone on up to this point. I don't even know what move to make next. That's the Hangman energy. Okay? So this is what we have for that. Five of Cups, yeah, in reverse. It's just such a sadness. But there is a positive about that. I do like the reversals, guys. Those of you watching me now. Because it just points to what we really need to focus on. So, yeah, I mean, somebody's being very greedy with, I mean, Pentacle energy could be in the most mundane level money, but they're being very greedy with their connection, very greedy with their communication, very greedy with how, you know, the intimacy that they allow, the connection, the support, very greedy. I feel this holding back with this Four of Pentacles reverse, you know, for sure. Yeah, end of a cycle, Ten of Wands. Cycle's over, right? It was a cycle over. No more. Became too heavy and too much to deal with, way too much, right? We have the Five of Cups reverse energy though. So this is you really focusing very much on the hurt and pain of the relationship. But at the same time, I do feel like you are in the reverse. This recognizes that you are recognizing the two cups that are standing behind you. And you know what you see in those two cups that are still standing is your self-love and what you brought to the relationship, and you taking that with you. So you not allowing this person or this, you know, this whole situation that happened here to completely do you in. You're not allowing that, and that's where you have the strength to make these healthy choices in the recognition of self-love. Because when the Five of Cups is upright, it's like you can't see that your value at all. You're just so focused on the hurt and pain of the relationship. You're hyper focused on that. You can't even tap into the love that once existed in the relationship. You're just so focused on your pain. But in the reverse, you're recognizing the pain and the disappointment, but you're also recognizing what you have left within yourself, which is really beautiful. And we have the Three of Wands energy, and the Three of Wands is all about having the will to just move forward now. Just move forward. But I mean, this ends up becoming this kind of cyclical kind of energy, you know, and you really wanting to just stop it. You want to stop it. You want to move forward in your life without all of this back and forth craziness, this silent treatment, this unhealthy, toxic behavior, you know, really toxic. So let's just pull some information here on this talking energy, please, Spirit. What does this mean? Okay, somebody really wants to make this happen, understanding that that the cycle is over. Oh my gosh, yeah, you just have to love tarot sometimes. It's just unbelievable how very clear. Sorry, let me just pull these up. Okay, so somebody's going to be calling you, reaching out to you. They very much want to make something happen with you, Aquarius. They're going to be recognizing that what happened before was bad. Toxic. Gotta go. Can't keep that cycle going. I love the Death card, Scorpio energy. In the reverse, it just indicates there's a lot of passion here. This is a very passionate connection, I can tell you that. But there is this understanding that whatever happened before was wrong, and it can't happen again. It cannot continue like that. You guys need to literally have a new cycle. Remember, the Death energy, this is a Pluto energy. This is about endings and beginnings at the same time. Six of Cups, they miss you. The Six of Cups is about a beautiful nostalgia, wanting to return to a better time. The Six of Cups is one of the reconnection cards. And this is reconnecting to the beautiful spaces in the connection that you guys had, and really them just thinking about that very much. The Queen of Swords is all about truth coming in and just laying down the truth. So the truth is going to be necessary for you, Aquarius. Very, very necessary for you to give this another go. Guys, I feel very strongly that you want to stop the pattern and you want to honor yourself and what you need, really. And this, it's not that you're not willing, you have feelings for this person. It's not that, you know, and then let's go back to the Crown and close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. Aquarius, you're good. You're good. You might be in this complicated situation, but you're taking care of you. You're doing Aquarius. You're good. You're in a really healthy way right now for this person to reach out to you, and only if you feel like they're capable of a healthy connection. Because if they're a narcissist, or if they're an unenlightened borderline kind of person, and I'm using these terms and please forgive me, I'm not diagnosing anybody, I'm talking about the qualities. Okay, those qualities where it's like they idealize you one minute and then they're putting you down the next minute. And there's a lot of deflection, a lot of gaslighting, but not in, I mean, everybody does that every now and then, but I'm talking about an all the time thing where they're cheating on you and they're having, you know, kids with this one and that one, and they end up being married, or, you know, where there's no real solid future with them. You know that they're just an unhealthy soul and they're just not capable. You know, say a prayer for them and send them on their way. Honestly, this is more for somebody who, you know, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like, there's still love here and there's still connection. You know what I mean? Like, where you guys can get together and they're capable of actually bringing the relationship to that next space. Not everybody is, you know. You have free will. If you don't want to give this another go, certainly don't do it. Just because the energy supports it doesn't mean you have to jump in. You know, doesn't mean you have to jump in, but the energy does support. Aquarius, those of you who are in an unhealthy situation, there is going to be a reconnection, and the energy does support this person really being of good intention. So I hope this was in some way helpful for you guys. Thank you so much. Happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate. My love to all of you, and until next time, thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.